When the news reported this week that Queen Elizabeth was under the care of her doctors, I knew her time was limited. The photo of her greeting Britain's new prime minister told the story. For the first time, she looked like a shrunken little old lady rather than the self possessed monarch we're accustomed to seeing. As expected, a few hours later, the news came that she had left the planet. Her soul was flying freely once more. What I didn't expect was what happened shortly after. Hi, I'm Deborah Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records, bringing you some sage wisdom from Queen Elizabeth as told to Archangel Metatron, plus the spiritual perspective on living a consequential life. And what does Elvis have to do with any of this? Shortly after hearing the announcement of the Queen's death, I fell into a bit of a tizzy. My thoughts felt like they were swirling through a powerful vortex. But why? And what was I supposed to do? Clearly, there was something important needing to be explored, but my rational mind said it's too soon. You see, when somebody transitions, generally they need time to process their experience before connecting with our side of the veil. Yet I felt guided to connect. So, connect I did with Archangel Metatron, who always has the most on point guidance. Metatron, what wisdom do you have to share about Queen Elizabeth II? One chapter ends, another begins. The wheel of time turns unceasingly. We urge you not to get sucked into sorrow over a life well lived. Rather, celebrate the longevity and positive influence of that life. It was a consequential life, whether or not you agree with having a monarch. It was a life dedicated to service. That was the contract her soul made, and she fulfilled it, perhaps better than anyone might have expected. There has been much focus on all that she saw during her lifetime. We encourage you to consider all the actions taken. You may quibble about whether they were all positive, but you cannot quibble with the volume and consistency. As queen, she thoughtfully considered her actions upon her people and, by extension, the world. Then she made the best choice based on her experience and wisdom. In that respect, she is a role model for the world, for that is all any of you are expected to do. Will you make mistakes? Of course. That's how you learn. Wisdom comes when you incorporate the lesson into your being, using it as you make future choices. Elizabeth's soul rejoiced at departing her used up husk of a body to experience complete freedom. Now it's time to focus solely upon herself and her needs. Yes, there will be a transitory period where she detaches. Old habits, don't you know? For now, she's experiencing the sheer exuberance of being released from the burden of a body, free to move about, to go anywhere, to see anything. She giggles in childlike delight at this new way of being, one which she'd long forgotten. Memories from past versions of herself slowly return. She will spend time connecting her Elizabeth identity with the many who have come before, incorporating all she's learned. A part of her essence will remain close to her loved ones to comfort them as they adjust to life without her. She leaves behind an enormous hole in their lives. Another part of her gallivants over hill and dale with her beloved horses, yes, and dogs too, as she reconnects with loved ones who transitioned previously. To her people, she sends love and the hope that they will live their lives fully, making whatever contribution to the world they choose. Always strive to leave the world a better place than you found it, was her motto. In her view, that's the way to live a consequential life. Put aside petty differences. Work together with your fellow citizens of Earth towards positive change that will benefit the planet and the people. That's the way to live a consequential life. Celebrate the gloriousness of your world. Spend time reflecting upon your blessings, for they are many. When you do this, your energy is uplifted, you feel better, and attract even more deliciousness to savor. Make this your practice through darkness and light. It will serve you well so that when you at last reach the end of your days, you'll be able to reflect back upon a consequential life well lived. Isn't that the ultimate achievement? Thank you, Metatron. Your insights are deeply appreciated. And wishing you bon voyage, Elizabeth. Now that we have that sage wisdom, let's talk about what consequential living means for you and how you can avoid deathbed regrets like Elvis, who had many deep regrets. I'll link to that video at the end in case you haven't seen our fascinating conversation. So, consequential living. If you're a monarch like Queen Elizabeth, it's nearly a foregone conclusion that your life will be consequential. But what about the rest of us mere mortals? Is living a consequential life something to strive for? Where does it fall on your life's priority list? If your last day on earth was tomorrow, how satisfied would you be with your progress? I know that's a lot of questions, but stick with me because it's important to pause once in a while to reflect. You might have noticed that life here on earth moves fast. Without periodic check-ins and adjustments, you may find yourself at death's door with a boatload of incomplete plans and regrets, like many souls who've gone before. I can say this with certainty because in my Akashic Records work, a number of departed souls have shown up expressing deep regret. Not all, though, which means as long as you're breathing, you've got time to reflect, assess, and make course corrections. If you're on track, fabulous. Keep going. If you're not, what might you change to get back on track? What will you choose, sovereign soul? It's totally up to you, just as it was for Elizabeth. She could have abdicated at any time. Instead, she made a commitment to a life of service. In return, she was beloved the world over. Based upon the message she conveyed through Metatron, she was indeed satisfied with her choices. But what about somebody who, for instance, works a blue-collar job, raises a family, experiences the usual ups and downs of life, and has the love and respect of family, friends, and peers? Is that also a consequential life? From the spiritual perspective, it's totally up to you to decide what you want to accomplish. It's your journey, and you can't get it wrong. Goals not accomplished in one lifetime may be carried over to another. You're eternal, so there's plenty of time. From your vantage point on the other side, you'll deeply appreciate your magnificent self and your journey, making every lifetime consequential. Now, if you're persuaded that you can't get it wrong, will you choose to stay on your present path? Or might you take more chances in the interest of your expansion? It's your choice, your life, beautiful soul. It's all up to you. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my conversation with Elvis to learn about his regrets. Speaking of regrets, be sure to sign up for my VIP list so that you don't regret missing the opportunity for a free mini reading from your guides on my third Saturday Ask Your Guides live event. Click the link below for all the details. This is Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records. Until next time, bye.